This is the West Philippine Sea. As an archipelagic and maritime nation, the West Philippine Sea is a matter of serious national importance for strategic, security, and economic reasons, as well as national patrimony and territorial integrity. It is the source of the country's indigenous oil and gas with the potential to meet the country's fuel demand in the next 20 years or more, while hosting a wide array of seabed minerals. The West Philippine Sea promises to figure in not only the country's quest for future energy security and self-sufficiency, but it also guarantees a haven of rich aquatic and maritime resources. But all of these are being threatened.
Foreign military aircraft. This is Chinese Navy. You are approaching our military alert zone. Leave immediately.
This is the Chinese Navy. This is the Chinese Navy. Please go away quickly. This is the Chinese Navy. You are alerting the security of our station. Leave immediately.
This is Philippine Navy aircraft transiting over international airspace. We are proceeding along our planned route. Over.
China Coast Guard vessel 3401. This was on the other side earlier, but it crossed directly in our path, which is a hostile move according to Navy parlance. It's been relayed by us repeatedly asking us to park and leave a unit shoulder.
The situation in the West Philippine Sea has altered the regional security framework and heightened the sense of unease. Brinkmanship in the high seas, political and economic interest, and the lack of a cohesive multilateral dispute settlement mechanism have increased the risk for miscalculation, making it a potential flashpoint for conflict.
Ang problema dyan sa 9-dash line na yan, ang layo niya mula doon sa Hainan, ito ang malaking isla ng China sa south, nag-i-extend siya ng more than 800 nautical miles. Di lagpas na kagad siya doon sa 200. Ang problema pa dyan, nag-e-encroach siya doon sa lihitimong karapatan natin na sinabi ng UNCLOS ay atin. In fact, mga 80% ng ating exclusive economic zone at ng Vietnam at ng Malaysia nasasakop nitong 9-dash line.
As China insists on historical claims for its 9-dash line, this is what the Philippines has to say.
In 1734, Father Pedro Murillo Velarde came up with a map of the Philippines. It's a beautiful map. We call it the mother of all Philippine maps. And it shows Scarborough Shoal with a name. For the first time, Scarborough Shoal was given a name called Panakot. That is 213 years before China drew the 9-dash lines in 1947. So for more than 2 centuries before China even thought of the 9-dash lines, we already called Scarborough Shoal Panakot.
And fear has stricken China. Due to its island-building activities, massive poaching, and harmful fishing practices in the West Philippine Sea, China has inflicted a close to catastrophic damage on coral reefs and poses a significant threat to the marine environment.
Sa 300 hektaryang corals ang natabunan na talagang hindi na maibabalik ng matagal na panahon. At yun ang ating pinangangambahan sapagkat may malaking epekto ito sa pagdami ng isda. Sapagkat ang corals, alam mo, yan ang tirahan ng ating isda, dyan nagpaparami ang ating isda, at dyan din kumakain o nanginginain ng ating pangisdaan. Malaki ang ambag ng coral reef sa kabuuan ng ekolohiya, hindi lamang sa dagat, kundi sa buong ecosystems.
China is actively deploying ships from its maritime agencies not to enforce maritime laws, but to forcefully advance sovereignty claims in waters currently outside its administrative control. But China is committing all these violations not against the Philippines, but against the entire Despite the Philippine government's pending case to the arbitral tribunal, China goes on with its artificial island building activities in its 7 occupied reefs in the West Philippine Sea. China still ignores and refuses to participate and cooperate in the arbitration case, a behavior that received criticism from the international community.
In the law of the sea, historical rights have been extinguished. But they're there now because they feel that they have the naval might. They will now claim the entire sea. They cannot do that. That's why we had to bring it back to UNCLOS. Is this allowed under the law of the sea?
Tayo naman po gusto nating makipagkamay sa bansang China. Pero minsan po mahirap makipagkamay kung yung paa ko tinatapakan mo.
We have gone to a forum where warships don't count, warplanes don't count, atomic bombs don't count, aircraft carriers don't count.
Dumulog tayo sa tinatawag na arbitration. Rule of law. Hindi na kesyo mas malaki ay kung ano ang gusto nila ay masunod.
The Philippines case is pretty strong.
This is an intergenerational struggle.
Contrary to China's aggressive behavior that might is right, the Filipino people stand strong on the principle that right is might. As time goes by, more and more Filipinos are digging deeper into the issue and are taking steps to support the country's rightful claim, consistent with a policy of peaceful resolution and in conformity with the international law.
Lupa na araw ng ating pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang maligaya ng pag ay mag-aapi, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
And together, we shall fight for what is right, for the love of God, our country, and the humanity.